We are in the process of creating history today. We are in the advantaged position that we are in the now. We are investing in cryptocurrencies now, when a lot of people will probably get into cryptocurrencies in a year's time, 5 years' time, 10 years' time, and by then the party will be over. The gold rush, the gold mine will be over. Yes, people will probably still be able to make money, but it'll probably be like the stock market where people make smaller gains. The whole industry is unregulated at the moment. We can basically make our own trades. We don't need a stockbroker. We are in the process of history. Okay, years ago, when our ancestors were making purchases, they used gold bars. They used to be walking around with gold bars and using them to buy products. Then some genius from the 7th century in China decided that banknotes were probably going to be a lot lighter to carry and easier to make transfers. Then 60 years ago, the bank card came out. So it went from gold bars to paper cash. Then instead of carrying around any cash, you have it on your card. And now in 2017, the right here, the right now, we are in the process of changing the way money is used. Digital currency. Okay, we are in this amazing advantaged position where we can now make savage cash due to the volatility of this amazing market. Now, I have now changed the title of my podcast. It is now called Savage Cash, okay? And the reason it's called Savage Cash is because I want to make savage cash and I want to help you make savage cash. And what I do every day is I share all the ways in which I see an opportunity to make savage cash. Now, in today's podcast, what I'm going to be talking about is the long-term way of making cash with cryptocurrencies. Banks and governments are afraid to get involved in this stuff. They no longer have control over your money. You have the opportunity to build an empire with the cryptocurrency investing game. Okay, and there is no better way to get educated in cryptocurrency than to take this cryptocurrency investment course 2017, where I share everything that I do. Everything that I do, so that you are just as clued up as me. And all you really need to do is just make sure you watch the markets and that you research the coins and that you make sure that you apply everything that I teach in that course to Poloniex or Bittrex or whichever exchange you go to. Okay, so what is the best way to treat cryptocurrency trading? Okay, there are two main ways. Okay, there's two main buying strategies with cryptocurrency. The number one that people use, particularly newbies, is pump and dump. Okay, what is pump and dump? Pump and dump is essentially where you see the speculative value or where you've read something that temporarily increases the value of a cryptocurrency. Okay, so you see a spike, you see a massive spike, a bit like this, a spike curve, where essentially what happens is that a cryptocurrency blows up, and hopefully you get in at this point, and then you get out at this point, but then you have to see that there's a little bit of a loss, and you can see that the spike is coming down. You get out at this point here, just as it's coming down. So you make great money. Okay, now that's what people do. That's what people like to do on a day-to-day basis, going onto Poloniex or Bittrex or whatever exchange they use, and essentially making huge amounts of money on short-term trades. All right, and there's one particular example the other day. So if I just have a look at Parkbyte, okay, so Parkbyte was a cryptocurrency the other day that absolutely blew up. It's now on the come down. It's now on the come down, but let's just have a look and see what happened, okay? Look at the tremendous gain that was made in the buying and selling of Parkbyte, okay? So, you know, if we go down to, let's say May the 28th, because that was literally a week ago, okay? 4 cents was the price of Parkbyte, 4 cents, okay? And then at its peak, we saw the price of Parkbyte go up to $1.53. A massive, massive gain. Massive gain. And this is the exact kind of cryptocurrency where you want to use pump and dump. Because now look at it. It's sunk. It's sunk to now nearly a third of the value it got to. Okay, but this was a traditional pump and dump cryptocurrency. It was a short-term gain, there was a lot of speculative value, and people essentially rode this price spike, this value spike. It just went up and up and up and up, and people cashed out when they had used this cryptocurrency for all of its worth. Okay, but with this kind of cryptocurrency trade, you have to be on the ball minute by minute. You have to be seeing how the cryptocurrency is performing. It's a very short-term gain, and the likelihood is that you could buy here and then exit here, which means that you actually have made not a massive gain. Yet, if you bought here and sold about there, then you would have made decent money back. You'd have made tons of money there. Tons of money. I mean, that's just insane. When you have a look, 5 cents all the way up to $1.50. Okay, that is a massive amount. Pump and dumps have their place. They do, because, you know, if you can make 100 times your investment over the course of a couple of days, why wouldn't you? Okay, why not put £100, make 100 times your investment, okay, and then walk out, 10 grand. That is the kind of thing that you would do, or walk out 100 grand. You can make serious savage cash through short-term investing, okay? But what's the game that I prefer? Okay, now I do play the pump and dump. There's absolutely no doubt about it. I play the pump and dump. There are certain cryptocurrencies that I think have a short to medium term gain, like Digibyte, for instance. Okay, now, at the moment, the speculative value of Digibyte is extremely high based on the fact of its association with Minecraft and based on its association with Citibank. Okay, now, both things could just wither and die. Okay, Minecraft on a private server. All of a sudden, the people may think, okay, this was hyped up. This actually bears no real value in the outside world. Start selling. And then Citibank, that could all go to someone else. Okay, and then of course the value will just sink. Okay, and then what happens is that you just dump it whilst the price is still at a reasonable level. So there is a time and a place for pump and dump. But my favourite strategy is the long-term hold, the buy and the hold. Why? Because you're making money when you're sleeping, and you don't have to necessarily worry about having to be on Poloniex and making sure that you don't miss the fall of the cryptocurrency. Okay? And Steem is the best example of that right now. Steem is my personal favourite because I got in with Steem during the price crash. Okay? During the price crash. The price crash happened on Saturday the 27th of May, okay? Everything went down. You know, there was a crash in the market. Kind of 35 billion was all of a sudden taken out of the market, all right? Just like that. And that was the day I said, now is the time to get buying. The red days, the days when you see red all over the exchange, that is the day that you buy. And I took my advice then and there, okay? Now, Steem went down to 66 cents, okay? It went right down, and I got it on the way up. I got it at 76 cents on that day. I was on Poloniex, and I was waiting for the best price. Now, I wasn't awake when Steem was at 66 cents, and I wish I had been, but I got it at just 10 cents more. Yesterday, look at what happened yesterday. $2.68 it got up to. $2.68. That is almost 4 times what I put in. Almost 4 times what I put into Steem. Alright? And yesterday when I went on the podcast, it was on the rise. It was here. It was at $2. And people were saying to me in my comments, which I now call the troll box, because there are just people that go in and literally just criticize a cryptocurrency without any single basis. They just say, oh, that's not going to go anywhere. Oh, don't listen to this guy. He's talking a load of crap. And you know what? I proved that guy wrong. Call him guy. I was so close to saying something else. Right? I proved him wrong. He was like, Steam's going to crash. Steam's going to sink. Yeah, you're stupid if you listen to this guy, right? And he said that because Steam reached $2 yesterday. And then it went down to $1.91 when I did the podcast. $1.91. Okay? And then it went down a little bit more. And then it surged, boy. It surged. Surged to a ridiculous amount. Let's have a look. Let's have a look and see what Steam was at its peak. Steam was at 274. 274. That is virtually 4 times what I put into... That is 4 times the price that I put in Steam. And today, right, my holdings are looking flipping superb. You know why? Because I went all in on Steam. I sold a lot. Well, not all in. You know, I still have quite a few. I've still got Stratis. I've still got Digibyte. I've still got Doge, which I think is great for the long term. I've got some basic attention token, which I think also is good for the long term. And these are, I mean, for instance, basic attentions token, that is one that I see for the long term. I don't see a pump and dump there. And this is the beautiful thing about long-term strategy is I didn't worry about, once I did the podcast, I was happy Steam went up to $2 because I know Steam is got so much legs in it. There's so much of a journey to go. There's such a huge journey. And I mean, one of my mates last night, I said to him, look at the price of Steam. Have you got Steam? And he said, no, I haven't got any Steam. And I said, mate, get in with Steam. Okay, he bought right near the top end of the value of Steam. Okay, he bought right there. And somebody said, oh, you know, mate, you shouldn't have done it just yet. You should probably have waited until the price went down a bit because the spike is high. And my friend said back to him, that's what you think. Sometimes when people think that is the peak of the price, actually it's the start before the peak. All right, that's the thing with cryptocurrency. Peaks happen all the blooming time. You can have a look at any of the charts, and what you see is you tend to see, you know, a massive peak, and at this point people may have said, oh, that's the peak, don't buy there. And look what happened literally days after. Boom! $4.31. All right? And again, here, it peaked, and people probably think, that's the peak. Don't buy anymore. This is a stupid time to buy. $1.05. Don't buy now. Wrong! Here was the peak. And I dare say that in a week's time, there will be another peak, which will be up here. Now, let me show you some examples of where the long-term game has absolutely reaped incredible rewards for other cryptocurrency investors, okay? And there is no better example than this. This is amazing. Bitcoin Plus, okay? So, you know, okay, this is relatively over quite a long term, okay? So let's go back to around about January 2016, okay? January 2016. The price of Bitcoin Plus was 6 cents. 6 cents, okay? Now, you can see there are little peaks and stuff, and people probably thought, oh, you know, that's basically the maximum value. You know, it went up to $3 here, $3. But 6 cents in January of 2016, okay? Look where it is today. $96. So from 6 cents back in January last year, which was about, you know, what's that? That's like 17 months ago, okay? So 17 months ago, 6 cents. 17 months later, $96. That is virtually 2,000 times the gain. Okay, so if you put $1,000 into Bitcoin Plus back in January 2016 and you've kept your money, you deserve to be a rich person today. If you would put $1,000 at this point, you would now nearly have $2 million. $1,000 invested, now $2 million nearly. Okay, this is an example of the long game. The same thing happened with Blitzcash. The same thing happened with Ripple. The same thing happened with Waves. You know, these are all cryptocurrencies where you play the long game. You buy as low as you can and then you just ride the journey. Ride the journey for as long as you possibly can. Now, people who are lucky enough to buy Steam back in March would have got it for 9 cents and now it is worth, well, now it is worth $2.50. Okay, now it's worth $2.50. Right? Now, that is unbelievable. That is unbelievable, the gains that you would have made in a couple of months. I am going to be into Steam for the long term. I'm not pumping and dumping. You know, there was an opportunity, and I've seen people in my comments, they've said, oh, you know, I thought I was a genius buying at, you know, 70 cents and selling it for $1.40, you know, making twice their money. You know, there are people that says that. And, you know, there's, I have a lot of sympathy for them because, you know, some people just, they don't know when the price is going to go down. That's the thing that makes us all equals with cryptocurrency. So you don't know when the price is going to go down. No one knows. Even if you've got insider knowledge, you don't know what the speculative value of the cryptocurrency is. You know, people may have a differing opinion to you. Okay? Whether or not you see some amazing long-term value in a cryptocurrency doesn't mean the market will. Okay, so it makes us all equals. We don't know when the price is going to go up or down. We can make an educated guess, but we don't know. But I am confident in the long-term value of Steam. Because like I have shown you in multiple examples, I have earned $210 in 2 blogs on Steemit.com. Okay, and I know that as any social network grows, the value of the stock gets higher. Now, I know this isn't stock, but let's look at Twitter, let's look at Facebook, let's look at Google, right? The value at the beginning is nowhere near the value now, all right? And the same is with Steam. It's growing. The value now is going to be completely different to the value in years to come. Steam is going nowhere. Steam is going nowhere because Steam is integrated into Steemit.com. Steam is integrated. They go hand in hand. It can't go anywhere. So as Steam gets bigger and more well known and people make loads of money from it, what will happen is the value of Steam is going to go up, and it's going to go up a lot. I see this going to $10 in the not too distant future, to $30 in maybe the medium to long term future, to over $100 in the long term future. Okay, let's look at Bitcoin Plus. What is Bitcoin Plus? Okay, it's got Bitcoin in it. What is Bitcoin Plus? Yet, look at the value. Look at that. Look at that. And I know that Steam is going to have something very similar because it's only going to get bigger. It's only going to get bigger, and Steam is only going to become more valuable. So the long-term game is what I would always encourage people to play. Because what I have enjoyed seeing is ever since that market crash, literally 2 weeks ago, ever since that market crash, all I have seen is my money multiply, 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 multiply. It just gets bigger and bigger as Steam gets more and more valuable. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It's unbelievable to see the rise of my holdings. And it's all because I had faith and I used my criteria to identify that Steam had the power to make multiple times on my investment. Multiple times on my investment. I think I'm going to make a lot of money in the long term, and I will be holding my Steam for as long as possible. And if you had the foresight to invest in Steam early, or if you listened to me and invested in Steam when the price went right down, congratulations. You've done a great job, because I think that you've invested in a cryptocurrency that has legs. Something like Ripple, something like Blitzcash, something like Bitcoin Plus. So, the long-term game is the best game. The long-term game. The people that make the best money are the people who bought and forgot they bought. You know, I read stories about people who bought Bitcoin at the beginning and they forgot they bought Bitcoin. $27 of Bitcoin when it was worth virtually nothing. Years and years and years ago. And then all of a sudden, they logged into their account to find out they're a millionaire. That is the ideal way to play cryptocurrencies. Okay? Look at it like a savings account. Alright? Look at it like a high interest savings account. Okay, you put your money in and you let it accumulate value over time. But with with cryptocurrencies, boy, are the gains 100 to 1,000 times better than any savings account. This is where you should be putting your retirement fund. You should be putting it in long-term markets, long-term coins. Okay? And look at Steem on Poloniex. Look at it. It's been in the top 3 for ages now. It's rising. It's on the rise. Same as this one here, which has very similar connotations. Technologically, you know, people are seeing the immense value that can come from a lot of these coins because of what they're tied to. You know, people are saying that LBRY credits is like the next Netflix, the next YouTube, you know, and so people are getting in there. And look, people are seeing the potential long-term value of these coins. Look at that. Amazing. Amazing. So the long-term game's great. Do pump and dumps. Play the market. Do some pump and dumps to keep the funds coming in. But then reinvest it into the long-term stocks. Let your money mature and make savage cash. That is the solution. Make savage cash. Now, if you've stuck with me this far, would you subscribe to me on iTunes, Savage Cash, the new podcast to make money with cryptocurrencies? And also, you can get the cryptocurrency investment course at a dramatically reduced rate. It's normally $195, but it's reduced to $10. Okay? And possibly the best $10 you'll ever spend other than investing it in Steem or one of these long-term crypto coins. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next podcast.